How's it going, everyone? I'm the one and only Kaiju Sage. Welcome back to a new video, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Conquerors, and specifically what we're going to be talking about today, as you probably saw by the title or thumbnail, is taking a look at their thematics and basically theorizing a unique item for each of the Conquerors. And I kind of want to talk about a unique item for each of them and potentially describing and kind of theorizing a Uber Conquerors version of each of them to like basically make this unique item worth farming, harder to farm, but genuinely worth the time for it. And yeah, I think it would be a really cool addition to the game. Make the Conquerors not just a little stepping stone to get some serious fragments. Like, I think they should be a little bit more their own thing. I think they are such a cool part of the game with a lot of lore behind them, and I would love to see them have their own stuff. So, that's what we're going to talk about today in today's video. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like if you're new here. I really appreciate all the support we've been getting up late. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it rolling. We're approaching 200 subscribers now, so let's keep going, dude. Like, this has been fantastic. Thank you all so much. And I hope we can continue to do it. Like I said, my goal is to reach 1,000 before the end of the year, so let's try to do it. But yeah, so today we're going to be talking about the Conquerors. And starting off first, as you can see on my screen here, I've got 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙿 pulled up. 𝙀𝙀𝙋 is the hunter. He is a poison boss. I'm assuming most people have fought him, but if you haven't, this is outdated information a little bit because it still talks about the Viridian Watchstone and Atlas Citadels. That was before they updated the Atlas to be bottom to top again. Or I said again, but before they updated the Atlas to progress from tier 1s up to tier 16s. Before that, you used to have to go through 4 sections of the Atlas, reach tier 5, beat a Conqueror, get a Watchstone, do it again, do it again, do it again, and you'd have to do it for all 4 sections, beating each Conqueror 4 times to get up to the point of tier 16 maps in that zone. So it was really annoying. Anyway, all that out of the way, that doesn't matter. History, there you go. What we're going to talk about is the boss itself. So, 𝙀𝙀𝙋, you start out the fight, you walk up, he's standing in the middle of a big triangle in the arena, and he looks kind of like he's got black robes and green stuff on, and then he pulls out his little snaky apparition. He is a poison chaos based boss, so pretty simply, his unique. What do you think it'll be? It's going to be probably some kind of poison-based dagger or sword, based off what he's wielding there. Like you can see in the picture, his apparition has 2 swords that it's holding, and I think it actually has 4, or it has 2 swords and daggers on those lower arms that it's holding. So you could make any number of things. You could make, item we call death by 1,000 cuts, or the Viper's venom, something thematically towards him, and make it just really, really strong for poison builds, for poison, attacks and stuff like that. You could even make a bow because he's the hunter, but that would be a little bit of a stretch because he doesn't use a bow. I think one cool option would be to have it where as you're doing things, you ramp up to a certain point, and then the apparition of the hunter pops up behind you, and then just shoots poison across the screen or something. That would be really cool, really flashy, fun item potentially. As far as making him an Uber fight, his fight would be really simple. You just basically make snakes along the outer edge pretty much always, and you can have them start out slowly shooting projectiles at you or biting at you if you get close, and then that way when he does the phase where he fills the middle with poison, it kind of makes it where you have to really carefully walk the edge so you don't get too close to the snakes. You might have to enlarge the outer arena a little bit so you have kind of a walkway where the snakes can't just bite you all the time. But that one would be easy, and then you just make him, do more damage, more health, maybe have him be like where he kind of starts like chasing you a little bit. That could be one possibility. But yeah, his unique, definitely just make poison based sword or dagger and have it do some really cool stuff. Like I said, I think having it like where you're doing things, it has probably have some like poison or 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 multi on it. Have it have some like poison, chance and stuff on it. Have some chaos damage, flat chaos damage, and then just have it where it says like, as you're building up poison stacks on enemies, create an apparition of the hunter behind you, and it will just like kind of shotgun blast the screen with like poison. That would be a really flashy, really cool way to make something interesting. But yeah, that's it for 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿. Let's talk about Baron. Baron, kind of a Templar-esque, boss idea. He creates lightning squares, pretty much is the best way to put it. He does a lot of like lightning and like holy damage type stuff. It looks kind of like, so it's like, do a lot of lightning based things for his. You could probably make the staff that he's holding, which I think actually exists, something like that looks exactly like that. So might have to make it a little different. You might have to make, I don't know what you would even call it, but that's okay. I don't have to have a name for it. I just have to have the ideas. So what would you do for an item like this? For an item for Baron, you can just have a really good like lightning based staff for spells or attacks. Either way, like if you really want to do it, you can do it either way. Probably spells. He doesn't really like do any like whacking you with the staff, so it would be more logical to make a spell-based staff, I think. And so you would make a spell-based staff, have it have, just lightning damage, spell damage, cast speed, and you can have like, again, like have a unique effect on it where it's like it creates the apparition of the Crusader behind you, and it like either you could have it where it like calls down those like squares in like an area in front of you in like a 2x2 column, or like a 2 by whatever in a straight line column in front of you. Or you can have it where it creates like, some of the squares around you in like a certain area based off your AoE and stuff. Could be really cool. I think having it like really like use their like apparition behind you, because there was like supporter packs where you can kind of get those things to come out, but they don't really do anything. They just look cool. So actually having their apparition come out, do an attack would be really, really cool, I think. That's it for that one. You can name it whatever you want to. Have it just be a good lightning damage, lightning spells, based staff. Maybe have +2 to all, lightning spells, spell damage, lightning damage, cast speed, some stuff like that. And then just have it have like a similar effect like I talked about with 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿. So Drox is a little harder. Drox doesn't use a weapon. So that one's a little bit more difficult. You might have to make an armor or something for Drox, and then just have it where have it be like a thing where it's like a stacking buff on you, where it's like as you take a certain amount of hits, you create one of those banners like that Drox drops, and it like gives you a bunch of damage reduction and a bunch of other stuff while you're inside of it. And it does like stuff like that. And then if when the apparition comes out, he creates like 4 or 5 of them. Like he creates like 1 on you, and then 4 other ones in the cardinal directions around you, north, east, south, west, etc. Creates like 5 banners around you and drops them. You could also do a weapon for Drox, but you don't necessarily have to just do weapons. You can be a body armor, a shield, but I mean, he has a big glowing yellow, golden body armor. So you could have it, do something like that, where he drops those banners. I think it would be thematically. Oh, I forgot, before I go any further, Baron's Uber version, Baron's Uber fight for dropping said unique. Maybe, once again, widen the arena a little bit to give people more room and to give yourselves a little bit more leeway, but probably, I mean, the scariest way to make it would be make it where there's like those squares start activated after a certain point, or they just start from the beginning of the fight. They start, the outer edge is activated, and then Baron will activate some randomly within that aren't activated, and then just activate some more, I guess. As he like randomly activates them, and then have, as he gets lower on HP, you could have more of those squares activate, and it would be really scary, but still able to like, you still make, like I said, make an extra outer row so that the arena is a little bit bigger, and then just have it where it kind of like starts kind of closing in on you. And if you can't really, DPS check him fast enough, it could get really overwhelming. And yeah, I mean, other than that, just have him do his other attacks pretty, frequently, maybe be a little bit faster, a little more damage, etc. But like you could also, there's a couple of other things you could do. You could have him where he has like a new attack. He just like calls down lightning on top of you and stuff. He does kind of like a storm call type effect, and yeah, that would be pretty interesting. Drox's fight, you'd have to be really careful on making Drox's Uber fight. Don't make him like immortal. That's the one thing you don't want to do for Drox's fight. Drox's fight could get really out of hand really fast if you just let him just create those banners faster. He becomes really, really hard to kill. If you don't know how his fight works, you have to break the flags around the arena, or he gets a like multiplicatively scaling, I think it's, I don't know, it might be additive, but anyway, he gets a like increasing amount of like damage resistance per flag that he has active. So you have to make sure to break each of the flags. Don't let him just have a bunch of flags. Maybe start him out with a few more flags, and then have it where once you break them, they're still like the same cooldown. Give him some new attacks. Have him where he just like does like a ground slam with both of those like big, like, or like has like two of those big fists come up. And he does like a ground slam that like does a wave in one of the directions. You already have an asset kind of like that in Katarina's boss fight, so you can just kind of have it like use the similar thing, kind of use like a sunder type texture, and just like boom, and it just like sends a wave across the arena. Could be kind of cool. And like I said, just make like a body armor or something for him. His is pretty easy. That's the idea for Drox. And now lastly, we'll talk about 𝙀𝙑𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿. I mean, the item itself is pretty easy. You can make cold damage. You can do, I mean, you can do anything with 𝙀𝙑𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘋s. You could do any kind of bow. You can do any kind of like, I mean, sword, staff, anything. You can make any number of things for 𝙀𝙑𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘋, and just have it where, it creates, the apparition does the like, the, what do you call it? The like thing where it creates a bunch of spikes, like a line of spikes, and it just like, it kind of already, that kind of already exists a little bit in the form of, what's that ability called? God, everyone was using it for a long time. It was, I'm drawing a total blank on it. It's the like thing you channel a ball above your head and it shoots those spikes out for you. But you can just have it where it does 𝙀𝙑𝙋𝘼𝙉𝑋's apparition behind you, and then that just like lances out ice spikes in a few directions as it just like, and just kind of like, just machine guns some enemies on the screen for you as you build up charges, dealing cold damage, etc. Other than that, I mean, yeah, like I said, you can make it either attack-based or spell-based, and just do it however, GGG would best see fit, however they want to balance it, either with cold damage or attacks or whatever. But I think for her Uber fight, I mean, it's kind of scary to say it, but just have the tornado kind of like start small, and then you kind of just have to like, they'd have to kind of adjust her AI for the Uber version to not just like chill outside of the tornado, but have it start kind of small and then just not move anymore, like as in shrink anymore. Have it where it like still moves around the arena some, so you kind of have to reposition, you have to still kind of like move with it, and then just have her do her normal stuff, a little faster, a little more damage, a little health. And like, definitely would need to give her a new move or two, maybe have it where, I mean, there's any number of things you could do. You could have the blizzard around you start like shooting like lines through it, like where you have to kind of like really dodge certain things. Where it's just like, you know, those like ice spikes. You need to have an indicator, have like a straight line indicator across it to show you where it is, and then you have to like move out of the way, flame dash, etc. But yeah, I think that's it for my ideas. Definitely, I would love to see something to bring them back into like relevance on in their own right, not just as a stepping stone to fight Cirrus. Like I said, that's the main idea of the video. I would love to see a unique item thematically, you know, created for each of them. I'd love it to use their apparition and just really make them feel cool, unique, and as a definitive part of the game. So yeah, that's my thoughts on all of it. I hope you all enjoyed. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. I really appreciate all the support. Like I said at the beginning, let's continue it. Let's continue rolling this snowball down the hill. And yeah, comment down below what your ideas would be. If you think these are good ideas, if you think you have a better idea, let me know. What do you think you would do for a unique item themed around each of the conquerors, or your favorite conqueror? And how would you design their Uber boss fight if you were going to do it? Let me know. If I enjoy your comment, give it a heart. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you for a new video tomorrow.